Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Ball. Waking up meant that he gave me a chance and I'm rolling the dice. I do it all, living like I'm trying to go for the platinum trophy in life. Who can you call? Really nobody, so you should just follow me on your device. And know if she chilling with me, then it's bound to be chemical X and the sugar and spice. Game in the system, but game is the hobby. I'm probably cocky, but hot as wasabi. I mean, if it's beef, then you know where to find me. My niggas is ready and so is my body. You should be running and telling your posse and what's in the speakers and what's in your potty. And she trying to kick it, but this ain't karate. Just keep that shit down while I'm watching Tsunami. I ain't saying I'm a super nerd, but I told you when we got involved, my idea of a perfect date is a PlayStation and some alcohol. I was role playing on GTA. I'm a good guy, but I got it all. If the world should end, be the first to leave, but the last of us acting naughty, dog. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough.
What's going on, people? Fan it's Sam here from level1gamer.com, and congratulations, you guys leveled up to 150. This is the Double XP podcast. We got not a lot, but a good assortment of topics to talk about tonight. The MLB, the show, and how things came about it coming to Game Pass. E3 is back. I wrote a couple of articles a while back saying you missed E3. Don't lie. You miss it. And some more topics to discuss. Let's get started with the introductions. As always, the man to my right, the man with the clamps, Citizen Snips.
What's up, everybody? It's been it's another wonderful Wednesday, you know. Got the crew together here, ready for an exciting show. That's really all I got to say, man. I'm excited. Let's get into it.
All right, next up, my right hand man, Slim Thugger. What's going on, sis?
Not much. What's up, y'all? I'm glad to be back. Almost died. We got some fire memes. Fame might get COVID again if he drops any memes, but that's a risk I'm willing to take, and let's get into it.
Next up, see this man, he came over to my house, and I broke out the Bible of Xbox. And I said, "Dear Phil, blessed thou man with thou stick of the box, so he shall be nourished in the light of thy Xbox. The newest member of the bot family, DALLAZ. Man, what's going on, bro?
Man, say, look, I'm in a good mood. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Look, also I just got an Xbox. Yeah, shout out to that. Now I can experience the full potential
X or
of Game
S?
Pass. You say what?
Did you get an X or S or a 1? What flavor of
one
Xbox?
X.
Nice.
1X. So you know, I had to. It's been a while. As the homie Baron J67 says, I've been anointed by what the homies at the Iron Lords call the Book of X. Homie Fame broke out the Book of X, and that's what happened. So, you know, I'm in a good mood because it adding in some more stuff outside the podcast, outside the realm of gaming. Things have just been going good, and I'm feeling the way about it. So I'm ready. Let's get it.
Last but not least, shut your mouth, you. Now, Demi can't make it with us tonight, but we did get a picture of him on his way to bed, and so shout out to Demi for rocking with us today, man. It's always good to have the homie Demi rocking with us per usual. But look, we got lots of stuff to talk about. Like I said, MLB Game Pass. We kind of got confirmation on how that happened. E3 2021. And Outriders impressions for those on the panel who has played it. So, Sony has come out and spilled the beans, which I think a lot of people who have more than 3 functioning brain cells kind of would have deducted on why MLB The Show not only is on Xbox, but it's on day one Xbox Game Pass. Now, I want you guys to remember and notice that the game releases April 20th, but if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you can play it on April 16th. So you can play it early. Go ahead, Snips.
So I thought that was the case. Somebody told me you only get it on the 16th if you pre-ordered the special. Was it the Jackie Robinson edition or something? If you pre-ordered, that's the only way you get it on the 16th.
Without Game Pass Ultimate.
Okay. Then because I got confused about that. I don't know whether it's on the 16th or the 20th. Really don't make that big of a difference to me. Like, it's still awesome, but okay.
The fact that it's in Game Pass is right. And I'm not the biggest baseball fan in the world, but I enjoy baseball. I really do. I haven't played a good baseball game forever. Even though the show has been out, I've never been like, oh, I'm gonna go drop. I stopped dropping 60 on Madden and stuff like that. So the fact that we get this on Game Pass is beautiful. But Sony came out and split the beans. And if you guys are seeing some scragglers on the screen, I apologize. It's not us. Something's happened at Discord. And things look all crappy. And do us a favor if you're watching. If you guys share the stream out. Hit that like button. It helps us out tremendously. Please, please, please. But Sony split the beans and said, hey, MLB is the publisher for the Xbox version. So Microsoft didn't go to Sony because they didn't have to, even though Sony's making a game. They went to the owners of the IP and said, hey, we want this game to be in Game Pass day one. And they pretty much went around Sony and say, not only are we going to have your IP, we're going to have your IP on our platform that our gamers get, along with a myriad of other games, Outriders, Octopath, and a lot of different games that came to Game Pass in April. I do want to get the panel's thoughts on this. I do want to start with you, Snips. With MLB going around Sony and pretty much saying, hey, we'll work with Xbox one-on-one because we can. Like, the impact that puts on, not only is the game coming to Xbox, but the impact of it being in Game Pass day one.
I mean, it's pretty huge. I mean, from like the perspective of Sony, like you might feel some kind of way about that, but I mean, if you had the ability to probably guard yourself from that in the contracts and agreements that you worked together to sign. So if you didn't do it, you didn't do it. But I mean, it's rough, man. It's rough that fans of a franchise that's been exclusive to your console for so long have to pay full price for a game to play it on your console. But if I just so happen to be in the Xbox ecosystem and I'm a Game Pass subscriber, then I can just play it for free. So it's tough. It's tough.
You just said it, and something that I think a lot of people have been saying a lot, and I think that is bothering people. That you're saying I'm playing it for free. And some people say, "Oh, well, it's not free," but it's the amount of games. With the amount of games that you get to play, it's almost like it's free.
It's almost.
I mean, think about
because I'm not paying for. If it'd be one thing if I was paying for access to that game specifically, but I'm paying for access to a service, and that service is giving me that game in addition to hundreds of others, if not thousands. I don't know how many games are on Game Pass.
If you count up the price of every game in Game Pass. Or just the games that you enjoyed in Game Pass, you would have spent. You're in the positive, right? So it's almost like it's free. I mean, Outriders and MLB alone, 120 alone, or 130 alone, right? And then Octopath, another $30 or $40 that had just dropped, and then a myriad of other games. It's a dub. But Dallas, MLB The Show, or the Major League Baseball, cutting a deal with Microsoft to get the game in Game Pass day one, like the impact that you feel like this is having.
I just need this to happen with games that are not sports ball. Let's just get that on out the way right now, because I feel like I care a lot more if it wasn't a sports game. But if we want to talk about what it means, look, man, if like. So,
speak from your heart.
I don't want to make this a thing.
Make it a thing.
Especially seeing as how I just got an Xbox or whatever. I don't want people to be looking at me like, oh, you insert a whole bunch of dirty words here, but they all amount to traitor. I don't want that to be a thing. But if Sony would just, I don't know, what did somebody say? Integrate PlayStation Now with PlayStation
PS Now,
Plus.
PS Plus and PS Now, yeah.
Do that. Because don't get me wrong, there's some fire stuff. I mean, I'm not saying it's Game Pass level exactly, but it's competing. If we talk about PlayStation Now, what's actually on it, like the games that's actually on it. And then I know people now that'll do that for the handful. I mean, more than a handful, to be fair, but for the handful of PlayStation exclusives that we have, right? But I think anybody that does have a PlayStation probably has it for those games, and they probably pick those up and it don't matter. So maybe not. But long story short, if there was some sort of Sony equivalent to Game Pass, like it's becoming more and more like necessary for that to happen. Like if this is not a slap in the face, like a slap in the back of the head, like how many times do I have to tell you this? Because it's not a new thing. I'm pretty sure people know at this point. So if it's not a slap in the back of the head saying we need an equivalent.
So let's play devil's advocate for this for a little bit here, Dallas. So now seeing, because Major League Baseball really had no rhyme or reason to tell Sony, hey, this is what Microsoft is doing. But now that it's happened, there shouldn't be or couldn't be any reason why Sony couldn't now backdoor and say, hey, MLB The Show 2021 PlayStation Plus. Do you think that's a worthy counter to what Microsoft is doing?
I think it's the closest thing they could do now. Like at this point, don't get me wrong, they be pouring games on our heads. The free PlayStation Plus games be fire every now and then.
They have been fired up lately. I mean, even though Days Gone is in the PlayStation Collection, I believe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
And then every now and then, just giving games away.
Yeah.
Where you don't even have to. Oh yeah, it is coming up.
It's free right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now.
Final Fantasy VII last month.
Yeah,
and Zombies also is coming to Game Pass as well. If you didn't know,
I think this is probably the first time in a long time where the PlayStation Plus games weren't games that I already had. Like the first time in a long time, it wasn't just games I already had. And Baron say he checks what games I just bought before he buy games. Because every game I buy is coming up to be free. Anyway, long story short, this is something I'm beating a dead horse at this point because I feel like I say this every other podcast or every podcast where we talk about Game Pass. But stop playing, Sony, man. You already know. Like, how long do you have? I
feel like this more than anything was Xbox just straight up unzipping and whipping it out on Sony.
Bro,
like,
thank you.
Bro,
I can do this anytime I want.
They walked in Sony's house and was like
on the table, just
flop. Like you heard that thing unfurl. It was just dang. Woo.
I don't know, man, but at some point you got to be like, all right, you can't keep doing me like this in public. At some point.
It was pretty raw. It was pretty savage. Like not even like a courtesy lick. Didn't buy him dinner, nothing. Just straight for it.
No pet names, none of that.
Mm-mm.
So y'all just gonna have a ball in the meme box today, huh? I mean, I'm here for it.
Do.
I mean, I'm here for
stuff,
it.
Man.
Don't get me wrong, I'm here for it. But y'all just having a ball today. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
But while I got your attention, Hugger, like I definitely want to get your thoughts about this. I look at you and Kever, huh?
Who's Kever?
I just combined Hugger and Kever.
That's a new one for
Kever.
me, man.
That's our ultimate form, Kever.
Hey, remember when we first started the podcast? Like people was thinking that you guys were, like always flirting with each other, and I was like,
"That's true. Stop flirting with a weird white guy."
Yes, that was a
like,
real comment.
I'm not white. I'm white passing. Thank you.
But Hugger, you and Kevin always look at as more of a neutral party. Where it's like, But I definitely want to get your thoughts on this and the sort of impact that Microsoft pretty much made with taking Sony's formal exclusive IP and saying, yeah, our gamers get to play it, on the servers for free.
Yeah. You know what? I think this is what Sony needs because we have experienced cocky Sony Oh, good God. Time and time again.
I'm so
And it's
tired
kind
of
of,
hearing.
right? And it's kind of time for them to get some sense knocked back into them. I am a Sony person. I've played nothing but Sony until I started getting on PC now. But Sony needs some sense knocked into them to realize, hey, just because you're Sony doesn't mean you have the stranglehold on anything. Because we're seeing it time and time again that that's not true. We've talked about this so many times where Game Pass is just the way to go if you're on Xbox or PC. Just for, I mean, look at the Final Fantasy games, look at Yakuza, just those games alone is a couple $100. You can't go wrong with $11 or $15 or whatever it is a month to get access to hundreds, thousands of games, indie titles. You're going to get access on your new Samsung phone. So Sony needs to step up and start smartening up because they're not going to hold the bag forever. And they need they need to have this competition push them. We'll just got to see what their answer is.
We do want to get y'all's thoughts in the comment section, so please let us know. And please, if you guys hit that like button and share the stream out, I would appreciate it. But I do want to ask, because Baron spoke about this on a couple of times, right? And I don't want to nail myself to a board by saying Xbox Game Pass is the future of gaming. I don't want to pin that on myself because that's a bad notion, because a lot of people are still into the more conservative when it comes to gaming, right? With Microsoft making these type of moves, with Outriders, with MLB The Show, there's rumors that Battlefield 6 will be day one on Game Pass. Is it safe to say that Sony may be on the wrong side of history when it comes to sticking with the current and long-lasting game model, where it's like, hey, the goal is to sell as many consoles as possible, while Microsoft is saying the goal is to sell as many subscriptions as possible, and I don't care what you actually use it on, just have the subscription?
I think it depends on how long it takes them to get with the program.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it. The longer it takes them to figure something out, something comparable out, it don't have to be it have to be the exact same. I was about to say it don't have to be the exact same, but you're not getting much better than what Game Pass is doing. If you can't compete with that, you're gonna lose. Those really, really good exclusive games are gonna only hold you for so long.
Yeah.
I know that sounds like a crazy thing to say. This is gaming and it's about the games, and it really is, because at the end of the day, you will buy a PlayStation like just for the game. But it's when it comes to like competing in the market, that's a different story. Because you have 4 games a year. You know what I mean? Like a good exclusive every quarter, which that's great and all, but you're not. If we talking about competing in the market, you need a little more than that.
Okay, what's wrong with PS Now? Because to me, there's one fatal flaw with PS Now on why it's not considered on par or better than Xbox. One issue.
What's that?
Games not being day and date releases.
I can see that.
If Sony came out, because remember at first when PS Now came out, it was a streaming only service, and now they got like thousands of downloadable games now. PlayStation 4 games are downloadable now, and some of the PS3 and PS2 games are streaming. If Sony came out today and said, "Hey, PlayStation Now, get God of War Ragnarok day of release, get Horizon Forbidden West day of release," that changes everything, because they already got a better pricing point than Game Pass in a way. But to me, that changes the game.
That sounds like one of 3 things they need to do. That, like Baron just said, marketing, much better marketing.
Do they even market it anymore?
PlayStation can do it. No, they don't talk about it.
I see a Game Pass commercial on every YouTube video, it seems like now.
Yeah, they need much better marketing. And don't rotate the games out as often. And don't rotate them at all if you don't have to. Keep every game you can possibly keep on that service
Yeah.
They need to do, if they can do those 3 things at the same price point, they'll be fine.
would Kevin or Hugger, you think that would combined with what we're saying with the marketing, day and date games, would that devalue the brand? Because a lot of people are so afraid of the devaluation of Sony if they go games day and date.
I don't think so.
I don't
I
think
mean,
so.
with any business, no matter what it is, you have to evolve over time. You can't just keep doing the same things. If you're allowed to keep doing the same things and they continue to be successful, then that means your competitors in the market either don't exist or aren't doing their jobs and forcing you to change your business model. So what I see is Xbox for the first time being proactive and saying, we're putting all our cards out on the table. This is how we're trying to shift our market. And this is Sony's chance to respond. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in the way that you mentioned. That's an option for them. But it's now looking at Sony like, okay, what are you going to do? You have to do something, but what is it going to be?
You know what I think is taking them so long? My honest to goodness theory is that they know that if they basically do the same thing as what Xbox is doing with Game Pass, we'll look at those two services. And when I say services, I mean Xbox and everything they doing, and Sony PlayStation and everything they doing. They'll look at it and then at some point realize Sony's going to have to do more than just have great exclusives. Like that's what's keeping them in the game despite Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
And at some point, if they neck and neck, people are gonna look up and look at Sony and be like, okay, what else do you got?
Because Sony will have a problem once Microsoft Studios are up and running. Like kicking in full gear. We talking about having all these Bethesda studios. You're looking at the next Fallout, the next Skyrim, Starfield, and you're looking at Obsidian's Avowed, Fable. I mean, once Microsoft Studios are firing on all cylinders, Sony's going to have a problem because they're going to really look at your service and say, hey, we're getting Starfield, Elder Scrolls, the new Fallout, the new Doom, Avowed, Fable, Gears, Halo, Forza. We're getting all of these day one for a service that's $15 a month. And by the way, I've yet to pay $15 for a single month. Shout out to...
You finesse the system.
I don't finesse it. Listen, when I first signed up, I had like 2 years because my goal was so long. And then CD keys always come through clutch. And then GameStop every holiday, hey, you can get a 6 month for like $15. So I bought a 6 months for $15, and so I buy a couple of them and just stack it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, GameStop on Christmas, they're gonna be selling a 6 month Game Pass for $15. Buy you like 2 or 3 of them. I promise you, fam. I've yet to pay full price for Game Pass. Now, one thing that I think we all need to realize, just like Netflix, just like Hulu, just like Amazon Prime, at some point, not right now, because you're still building, but at some point, we're not getting Game Pass. It's gonna be $20 a month, guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. You know what though? For what I get, I'll pay that. I won't want it. It'll be a little begrudgingly, but I'll pay that. And B, something sad. I mean, from a consumer standpoint, anyway. Something sad about this whole thing. As long as they keep coming with fire games,
that's all that matters.
Yeah. I mean, like Sony, as long as they keep coming with fire games, they're not gonna have to change. That's
Facts.
Unless those same fire games start finding their way onto Game Pass in one way, shape, or form.
Here's something. Here's something that has been on my mind. Shout out to the people in the chat because there's something that's been on my mind, and I want to get y'all thoughts about this because it sort of plays into what happened with MLB The Show being on Xbox, right? We know for a concrete fact, Marvel sold the movie rights of Spider-Man to Sony. We assume that Sony used the leverage of Spider-Man and Marvel as a way to get the Spider-Man IP exclusive to Sony. But Sony does not own the Spider-Man gaming rights. It's just an exclusive deal, right? We heard so many times about possibly Spider-Man getting pulled from the MCU and being in Sony's universe only. What if that does come to fruition and the contract runs out and Sony wants Spider-Man back because they're doing their own universe, right? And they want Spider-Man back. And so Marvel says, cool, well, we're not going to renew our deal for Spider-Man being exclusive. Insomniac can still make it, but Insomniac has to make it multi-plat. And then Xbox can turn around and go to Marvel and do the same thing they did with MLB The Show and have a future Spider-Man Insomniac game day one in Game Pass. It's not far-fetched.
It's not.
It's
really not.
not.
far-fetched.
That's what this MLB The Show deal with Microsoft being able to go around to the actual IP holder, the license holder, and say, hey, I want to make my own deal. And Marvel can do the same thing. Hey, I see the money they making. Okay, Sony. Spider-Man's multi-plat now. And we'll publish the Xbox version of Spider-Man. And then Xbox goes to Marvel and say, Game Pass. That's the impact of MLB being a Game Pass day one.
I mean,
it is April 7th at 7:27. If this happens in 5 years, remember who said it.
Hey, Kev said you out here trying to give people aneurysms.
And also remember that Demi's gonna have to eat a hat here soon.
Oh,
I can't
absolutely.
forget that either. You gotta keep that going.
Phoenix 443 says that is far-fetched. Please tell me how that's far-fetched. I think it's
far-fetched is a Pokemon.
If it is a
That runs
Pokemon.
around with the leak. This
That
is
is-
not far-fetched.
Sony owns basically everything Spider-Man related movie. No, they do not. Sony owns the movie rights to Spider-Man. They do not own the game rights. Hence, why every single Spider-Man game previous to Spider-Man PS4 was multi-plat. And it was not published or created by anyone at Sony. Sony does not own the Spider-Man gaming rights. They do not. That is a fact.
this was brought up. We talked about this last year when Sony was looking to pull Spider-Man out of the MCU, and Marvel said, "I don't think so."
Wait a minute, is this King
they
Phoenix?
have the right.
Is this King Phoenix 443?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bro, hop in the Discord. Come on.
He's in the Discord, I think.
Hey, y'all take over. I'm finna add Phoenix to the show. Why not?
Big.
Goodness.
Big.
I don't know what we're talking about.
You take the guest box up there.
We talking about boot? No, I'm sorry.
Well, Bigfoot is real, and he did try to eat my ass. So
Whoa. Phoenix, are we not friends on Discord?
Bigfoot been listening to
Oh,
that
wait a minute.
Kevin
There he
Gates.
is.
Y'all terrible. Y'all Charles
I know.
Barkley terrible.
It's going to mess the boxes
Oh,
up, but
no.
I got him.
Oh, you messed the boxes up, man.
that's terrible.
Have you no
Terrible.
shame?
Come on, Phoenix. Watch it not even be him. But Dallas says it's him.
It's some
Yeah,
imposter. He's like, hello, my name is Guillermo.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. All right, let me work on the boxes.
Hello?
Yes,
Hey, wait,
sir.
real quick, before we get started, Phoenix, guess what?
I love
What?
how my box never gets messed up.
I got an
though. Let me
Xbox.
just vibe real quick.
You got an Xbox finally? Look at God working his will.
So hang on, we didn't even touch. So Dallas not only in this past year got a PC, but now he has an Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I got
Microsoft
everything.
has put its hooks in this young man and dragged him over.
Over to the dark side.
Can I
Mhm.
just address
What
two
the-
things that I heard that I was sitting there speed typing. That's how much sweat coming down my forehead.
Go
So
ahead,
number
family.
one, when Sony and Disney had their little spat last summer, Sony owned, when they were going to pull Spider-Man out of the MCU, Sony legally has every right to do that.
Mhm.
However, it was Bob Iger at the time who crossed the aisle, so to speak, and had conversations, and that was all thanks to Tom Holland. Bob Iger was on record even saying that because they were going to let that deal expire. However, when it comes to MCU fans, anything that has the Spider-Man name on it but does not have that Marvel Studios tag above it, people will reject now that he's in the MCU.
Mhm.
I think we all can agree to that, right?
Yes.
Yep.
That's the exact same reason why the Venom movie is not going to be $1 billion movie. The Spider-Woman movie is not going to be $1 billion movie. Black Cat, so forth and so forth, simply because these characters are not going to be interacting with Sam and Bucky and Captain Marvel and whoever the new Black Panther is. That's just not something that we know of at the moment that's going to happen. Now, as far as the video game aspect, Fame, I'm on board with you. However, Sony ain't putting that on Game Pass. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But that's a cash cow for them.
But to me, since Marvel owns the IP, just like MLB owns the IP for the show, because they own. I won't say they own the. Sony makes the game, and it's MLB. But it's MLB's game. Sony makes it, right? If Marvel owns the gaming rights to Spider-Man, but they have an exclusive deal intact with Sony for however many years. When that deal is up, why couldn't Marvel do what MLB did and Marvel say, okay, Sony, you can continue to make Spider-Man exclusive, and Insomniac can continue to make it, i.e., Sony Santa Monica making MLB, but you have to make it multiplayer. And then Microsoft goes around Sony to Marvel like they did with the MLB and do the exact same thing. And what Sony has no say so because they aren't in control. All they do is make the game.
I'm gonna give you one good reason as to why. Sony can't afford, and I mean monetary wise, Sony can't afford to throw money around like Microsoft can, because let's be a little bit real here. Microsoft's got government contracts. Mm-hmm. They've got all these
just got a new one too.
Where Sony literally is only making money off of consoles and Spider-Man movies. Mm-hmm. They can't approach like MLB. Okay, and cameras,
yeah, their camera division is popping.
Mm-hmm. You know, like with, let's say MLB, for instance. MLB can say, all right, look, what you're going to do is share the revenue, because let's say we're only making 10 million on your platform. If we move it and open it up, then we'll make double that. Mm-hmm. But with this Marvel thing with Sony and Spider-Man, okay, so let's say Sony doesn't play ball. Guess what's going to happen here in the near future? Sony games day and date will hit will hit PC day and date. They hit console.
Oh, that's coming. That's coming. Mm-hmm. Facts. Mm-hmm.
And where would I much rather play Spider-Man 2 and Miles Morales 2? I'd rather play that on a PC than I would ever play that on a console.
Mm. Yeah, they can't relinquish the console day and date. They, unless they do it on their own service, they can't do it anywhere else and still be somebody, so to speak.
Because I mean, look at what Microsoft did. And I'm sorry to take over, Shaw. I'll say this now.
Hey, bro, welcome. You.
Yeah, that's what we doing.
Yeah. You in here? You family.
Look at what Microsoft has done, and we'll go back to June of 2013, where Don Matrick was the head of that division. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that nailed Xbox for the last 7 years were these few comments. What about the people who are on submarines and different things, armed men and women, who want to have an option of playing offline? And he verbatimly said, we have a console for them that's called the Xbox 360. Mm-hmm. From that moment on to 2020, when the Xbox Series X launched, Microsoft has been playing catch up. They have been forced literally to scoop up damn near every developer just so they can say, we have 23 first-party studios. In the next 5 years, imagine you picking up a TV from Best Buy or Amazon, wherever you go, and instead of owning an Xbox console, you have an Xbox controller. Game Pass is an app built into your television. And you're streaming from the cloud. That's where all this is going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Agree.
Absolutely. Would I prefer to game on a TV versus having hardware in my house every day and twice on Sunday? If you can tell me I can get right the hell off this black box that's sitting in front of me right now that I'm playing Sea of Thieves on and boot this thing up on this beautiful OLED, I do it every day and twice on Sunday. Mm-hmm. That's just where the industry's headed to.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
They'd rather you pay that subscription price every month.
I agree. Which is why we brought up. I brought up earlier. Do we think that Sony may not be turning the wheels fast enough on what may be considered, what is currently technically still the standard, but maybe soon to be outdated plan, which is, hey, I need to sell as many PlayStation consoles as possible. Meanwhile, Microsoft is saying, I need as many people to sign up for this service as possible. Sony may be stuck spinning its own wheels if that's truly where the industry is heading.
I'm gonna push back on that a little bit, and only because I was in a clubhouse where this was kind of brought up by someone who worked at Sony.
Okay.
Sony guy came into the clubhouse, which was with Jeff Keighley and a bunch of the other people that are in the industry. He verbatim said, people think that we're resting on our laurels. We got to remember this about Sony. Sony moves quite like Apple does, where they don't talk about something until it's ready. And if you think for a fact that they're not looking at Game Pass and saying, we need our own Game Pass-esque situation to go off of, you'd be crazy. I don't think...
Isn't that PS Now?
I mean, I'm not streaming games. Like, and then let me rephrase
because
that. Their network sucks.
PS Now currently has over 1,000 downloadable PlayStation 4 titles. So they
downloadable?
Have downloadable, like you can download.
Streamable.
No, the download.
Okay.
The older PS2, PS3 games are streamable, but the PS4 games, they changed it. First, though, they were streaming only, but you can download those now. So, and we said this earlier. To me, the only true difference is those day and date titles. Sony gives you day and date titles: God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, the next Spider-Man game. Day and date and PS Now, it would be that, and they need to market it more. It would be as big, if not bigger, than Game Pass. And I'm a Game Pass fanboy.
I'm going to disagree with that. Here's why I'm going to disagree with it. Microsoft's got the third-party publishing deals. Mm-hmm. They got EA on board with EA Play.
True.
Rumor has it, Square Enix is about to get on board. Ooh. So I think Microsoft, again,
there's a Ubisoft rumor as well. Mm-hmm.
They have the money to just throw out these deals. Again, Sony's not sitting on a war chest of money. I mean, that's just the facts. You know what I mean? If Sony wants, for me, I'm a multi-console owner, and looking at people like that, what is going to grab me away from Game Pass to pay for an extra subscription over here? I hate you, Dallas.
Hugging these damn memes.
Y'all
I don't know what you're talking about. You hit me with the snickle.
Listen, Phoenix. This is not for me to gas you up. I need you on here more often because I love hearing. Not that my panel doesn't do it, but the counterpoint you're coming with. I love it. We need more of it.
I love you, beach. I ain't ever gonna stop loving you, beach.
I ain't gonna ever stop loving you, beach. I think we lost. Oh, no, he's like, you still there. I ain't gonna ever stop loving you.
But you know what? I can ask you one extra question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say if at the end of this year, you had enough money for Disney Plus, Netflix, or HBO Max, which one are you gonna stick with?
Wait a minute. Give me the options again.
HBO,
mm-hmm.
Disney Plus, or
mm-hmm.
Netflix. Which one you gonna stick with?
Okay, well, you can only pick one. That's difficult.
You can only pick one.
Netflix is automatically gone. Disney Plus or HBO Max. It's difficult.
Yeah, it'd be
Netflix.
And I'm probably
gonna say Disney Plus.
And that because I'm still watching.
Netflix has more anime than Disney does.
The Marvel stuff I'm in love with. The Disney classic stuff my wife and kids are in love with. And much I love what HBO Max is doing. I got to watch Godzilla. We're getting the next Matrix. We're getting Mortal Kombat. And all those go fire. Can't wait.
That Mortal Kombat does look good.
Looks good. Mm-hmm. But the fact that we just had one division.
Well, you know what I also say, and Fame knows this. I don't say HBO because you can't get HBO Max in Canada without subscribing to another service. I'm like, nah.
They're going to double dip you.
You got to get that VPN. You got to get that VPN going.
Hugger, I swear, if you post that meme one more time, delete it from your collection. You need to be doing new and different things, okay? You can't just repost that every time we have a show.
It's so ridiculous. Good. See, but I only bust it out when we have somebody new on the show now, because then they'll always be. I try to get them mid-sentence, and then they stop and go, "What the hell's wrong with y'all?"
Terrible every time.
But Phoenix, which one? Which one you choosing?
Well, I'm only choosing Disney simply because A, that's going to be my employer here in a couple of months, and then two,
I'm sorry, you're not just going.
Don't bite
You
the
are
hand.
not. You
Don't
are
bite the
not
hand.
just going to say that and keep on talking. You got to stop.
And congratulations, by the way.
Throw that bitch in reverse.
I've actually known this for a couple of months. I just haven't said anything. But yeah, I'll be working for Walt Disney Studios as human resources. So any and everything that basically comes through the studio pipeline, I will know, which AKA means I can't talk too much about certain things.
So basically, you're gonna be our anonymous source for shit. That's what you're saying.
Hey man, don't say that out loud.
I mean,
I mean, don't forget you level 1 family fan.
Absolutely.
Hey, but listen,
premieres and things, everyone's welcome.
Listen, congratulations.
Why-
Honestly,
Thank
truly,
you.
that's
Congrats.
big. Congrats, bro.
That is
I'm
awesome,
super
yeah.
excited for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. But the reason why I put the analogy of pick a streaming service, it's the same thing with Game Pass and the same thing with PlayStation Now or whatever the evolution of that turns to. It's really going to be where you're going to get the best bang for your buck. And honestly, since I game on PC as well, nothing's beaten Game Pass Ultimate for me. I mean, I can literally pick up Halo Infinite tomorrow, play it on my Xbox Series X. If I get bored, jump on the PC. The save is right there. I can pick it up and continuously pick up where I left off. And if I have an Android phone, which I don't know why someone would,
hey, bitch.
But no, all serious joking aside, but like Android phones, you got cloud gaming. You know what I mean? You can pick up and go right where you left off. The value in Game Pass at this moment in time is second to none when it comes to the gaming space. And that's why I'll champion it. At first, I hated it. I thought it was a dumb idea in 2016. But yeah, so there's that.
Oh, I'm going to hell tonight, boy.
Don't. What are y'all post? Phoenix for life.
I'm scared to look at this meme chat because I see some boobies. So
I can't. I'm going to hell.
I'm scared. Ooh. Well,
Listen, Phoenix.
like
Phoenix,
to-
before you leave and destroy our boxes, I do want to
run.
I do want to get your
Run for
opinion.
your life.
At least I want to get your starting opinion on our next topic. I'd like to jump into is the fact that E3 is making a return. And Dallas is frozen. Somebody caption that. Still that. Screen. Oh, he's back. Damn. E3 is back. E3 2021 is going to be a thing, and Microsoft is going to be there. Nintendo's going to be there, but Sony is going to be a no-show. I do want to get your thoughts about E3 2021 being a thing and Sony not being there.
I think there's a bigger story there, right? I think, is E3 relevant anymore? And my answer to that is no. And here's why I say that. Because last year showed exactly what people wanted from these companies, their own digital events. And that way people can control the narrative. I think that is the absolute, and then again, it saves these companies millions of dollars instead of shipping out all these dev kits, all these TVs, getting all these employees down to Los Angeles Convention Center, and you're down there for a week. So to me, I think E3 that we know is going to be a thing of the past as these companies start to, look at Nintendo, the Nintendo Direct. Anytime that they hold that, what happens? Millions of people are watching. So I don't see Sony not showing up as a big deal, but I think the bigger question is, do we see that as a viable thing going forward? And for me, my answer is no.
I'm gonna be honest, Phoenix. I had the mindset last year that this is gonna be for the better. And after a while, I went and wrote an article that said you missed E3. Just admit it, because
E3
it was too
never
many
about the games for most people.
It was too many
about
shows.
The meeting with people.
We had too many shows, and a lot of them could have been put out in a tweet. Like, it was just too much last year. Like, it was just like,
and at like 9 a.m. too.
Yeah, it was like there was no like consistently. It was like a bunch of different people. We could have had that, 2 or 3 days. That's E3, and we could have had the bigger show. But it was just like nonstop. It was like, was it EA's thing last year when they showed that stupid game, the Rocket Arena? Was it Rocket Arena?
Yeah.
Hey,
They could have
you
tweeted that.
You were hyped. You were hyped for Rocket Arena initially. You know that. And
Listen,
then you
bro,
tried it, and you're like, why did I do
got
this?
recency bias, and we all know this. I have recency bias. I do. I'm like, oh, that looks dope. Like, I can't wait. And then I'm like, oh, no, this is trash. I got the game for free and uninstalled it, like, because it wasn't worth my time.
I don't know if you do have recency bias, because we were we watched the Ubisoft shows, all of them. We covered every single show, even no matter how early it was. And you looked at Hyperscape and you're like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, that
You're like, there's no way I'll ever buy it.
To me, granted, I do think the Nintendo Direct style is the wave. As someone who's trying to run a website to cover all this stuff, to me, it is chaotic when I got to find somebody at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 8 a.m., 7 a.m., 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It became too much where I'm like, all right, can y'all at least make these shows? I don't need Ubisoft to give me 4 shows in a span of a month and a half. Like, I don't need that. Like, you can give me everything in a month. I don't think E3 is necessarily back or ever be back. I think this might be the last time we see it before it's hurrah. But I do believe that the E3 format, in my opinion, is a better format than what we got last year because it was too much, in my opinion. And I want to get the panel's thought about that as well.
Well, like I said, E3 has never been about, at least for people like us, never been about the game shows. I mean, there's very few shows that we were like hyped for. The only one I can think of that we were all there watching, and it was late at night, was the
Game Awards.
Final Fantasy.
Oh,
the Final Fantasy VII show. I'm talking about E3. The Game Awards
E3.
We always cover. That's
14
the last time
show.
we were like hyped for the Final Fantasy VII remake announcements and the Tifa showings. I think E3 is more just about meeting with your friends. I mean, was it Lady Infamous? Red also talked to us about you just get to see people you would never get to see. Like, I would go down to LA. I'd get to meet you guys. I get to meet Baron, a whole bunch of people. But
can we all stay at Baron House?
Hell yeah!
I'll bring the Mama Wana. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Keep the pug in the other room.
That's a Dominican
No.
But I'll ask you all this, and then I'm gonna finish killing these people online.
You playing Outriders?
No, I'm playing Sea of Thieves.
Okay.
To me, like I know someone brought up the Game Awards, and I would say this to Jeff respectfully as much as I can. I will never support that show ever again.
Ooh.
The reason why, I feel as though when George Floyd happened, we saw all of these were supporting the Black community. When the recent things with, Asians being attacked, I'm sick of seeing companies and people who work for companies get these Black backgrounds with these white letterings and saying we're doing this, we're doing that, but then there's no action behind it. As much as I love Disney, the lead of their diversity and inclusion council is Bob Iger, who I have the world of respect for Bob Iger. I hold him literally on the same platform that I hold Beyonce on, and anyone who knows me knows that's a high platform.
Who?
Mm-hmm. She queen.
His name is Bob Iger. He is the chairman of the board for the Walt Disney Company.
Oh no, I was messing with you about Beyonce, but go ahead.
Oh, see, we let her
ignore him.
resume speak for herself, so I had to ignore
Exactly.
that one.
Her
Salon?
body's just too bootylicious for you, okay?
She queen.
But my
Black
thing is,
king.
there's not enough celebration for people of color, whether you're Black, whether you're Puerto Rican, Dominican, Haitian, Asian, South Asian, whatever the case is. I'm sick of seeing, and no disrespect to him, I'm sick of seeing the Ryan McCaffreys, the brown hair, blue eyes, the blonde hair, green. I'm sick of it at this point. There are people who I've had the fortunate pleasure of meeting over the past several months who look just like everyone here, who
Kevin.
are doing amazing things that are doing amazing things in this space that we call gaming. And if gaming is supposed to be this melting pot of entertainment and where cultures collide, it's not being properly represented. And that's why when people say, oh, gaming's not being taken serious, it will never be taken serious on the platform where music is, where the platform where films are. Because in order to show off the diversity that gaming represents, you got to start with the people who work on the games. Just one small example, then I'll shut up. Look at Destiny, Fortnite, and all these little other goofy games. Who are the people that make these dances up? Black and brown folk. If I want to be petty, and I could be petty now. If I want to be petty, I know someone that works on Beyonce's team, and everything that goes into her music videos are copyrighted. They have the single ladies dance in the Destiny video. Did you go through her? I'm sure you didn't. So guess what I can do? I can go ahead and get you slapped with a lawsuit by Parkwood. So to me, give the credit where credit is due. Highlight the people like Sarah Bond, who's over Game Pass and is getting the recognition as, just her flowers that she needs. I'm just sick of seeing the same faces.
Can someone tell Sarah Bond that we at Level 1 Gaming stand? That we stand, and we've always stand, and that we would love to sit and speak with her. Because Sarah Bond does not get enough love for what she does. So
I'll say this: shoot your shot. Where's Baron at? Baron, you got the gift of gab. Shoot your shot.
We stand, and we want her to know that we stand. That needs to happen. Just put. But
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be a pirate with Johnny Depp. Thank y'all for having me on. Have a wonderful rest of your show.
You sail all 7 of them seas.
Peace out, man.
What happened?
Also,
later.
All right, now I'm gonna fix the boxes that are about to get destroyed.
I'm still waiting for Hugger to give us a yeehaw.
Probably not gonna happen.
A yeehaw or no, don't do it.
Hi-ya to a yeehaw.
Y'all vexing me. So Hustle just sent me a tweet that Wario64 put out 48 minutes ago. It says there's a rumor that Kojima is in talks with Microsoft to publish his next game.
For the love of God. And I'm not even a Kojima stan. I just know the impact of people who stan him. You say Kojima and the house that Kojima built, they will stand and they will go where Kojima is.
That's a big name, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It says, I cannot confirm if Xbox closed the deal yet, but my understanding is that Kojima is focused on a Microsoft plan to leverage Japanese talent.
Okay. Hey, listen, if you guys are watching this, here's a couple things you guys can do to help us out. Of course, hit the like button, share the stream, and tweet out to Sarah Bond that we stand. We stand, and we would love to sit down and speak with her. But shout out to Baron, because he is in process of getting in contact with her so we can have her on. So
shout out to Baron, who won't join us on the show, but will sit here the entire time posting memes about pugs.
Preach.
Before we move on, my wonderful panel, any other lasting thoughts about E3 2021?
For me,
there goes the boxes.
For me, E3 was or is it's something I never was like too excited to watch. But if I had the opportunity to go in person, heck yeah, I would. Like that's what like Hugger was saying. I think it's about the experience of being there, seeing everything in person. It's more hype. It's more cool that way. If you can meet up with your friends and stuff, that makes it even better. But that's what I think of when I think of E3. So, I mean, if me personally, if it goes away and the developers or the publishers start doing their own little digital shows or physical shows, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, and people will tune in more. Like, I forgot how funny Devolver Digital and their whole like running gag is.
Hilarious.
They need to
crazy. They out of their minds.
They are awesome. I mean, man, I just love Devolver Digital.
Thing?
I never actually played that.
Like they digital event.
The Devolver Land
digital event that they had, that was creative.
It kept crashing, so I couldn't finish it.
Yeah, they did a really good.
Hey, listen, we're gonna hop into one more thing before we get out of you guys' hair. Number one, for everyone who's been rocking with us tonight, man, listen, super appreciative. We always appreciate anybody who rock with us. You rock with us, we rock with y'all. Before we get into the last topic, once again, we have shows 6 days a week here. Monday, 15 Minutes of Fame. Tuesday, Cogs in the Machine. This Wednesday, like today, Double XP Podcast. Tomorrow, Take Two. Friday, Peep Game. Saturday, Ready Press Play. And on Sunday, it's the Lord's Day. We rest. Go watch the Iron Lord Podcast. Those are our people over there. 6 days a week. We also have a website we run, level1gaming.com, lv1gaming.com. Go show us some support and check it out. But listen, before we go, last topic. Anyone besides me play Outriders, and what are your thoughts, your impressions of Outriders? And I'm going to start with the man who's going to talk reckless. Go ahead, Snips.
Talk reckless. So I started playing Outriders. Again, if it did not hit Game Pass, probably never would have touched it. I can't imagine spending $60 on this game just because, not as an insult to the developers or anything like that. It didn't catch my eye enough with all the other games I'm trying to play right now for me to be like, yeah, I'll sidetrack and divert money and time to this. But I have Game Pass. It hit Game Pass. I'm going to try it. And the fact that my friends are playing it helps as well. I know I can hop in with them and get some games in.
Or you can hop in and we carry you.
Yeah. Until I catch up, at least. And then I'll be doing the carrying because y'all some fools. But I love y'all. The way it looks to me is initially, and granted, so bear in mind I have maybe about an hour and a half of playtime so far. So I'm not super far in. The story initially seems to be a bit all over the place, at least at the start. Like it's trying to do a whole lot all at once without giving you a good explanation for any of it. I assume it's going to flesh itself out more as we go along. So not awful, but it's not like oh my God, this is great, blowing me away kind of thing. The gameplay itself, the world looks nice. The enemies seem pretty varied enough as far as types that you encounter and everything. I could see it becoming stale after a while, but again, it's very early on in the game. They have plenty of time to add additional things and make it more varied as the game goes on. Combat, the abilities seem cool. I need to see more of what's available. I haven't tried too many different classes. The only class I've really tried so far is the Trickster. So I'm enjoying that one so far. The abilities seem neat, and I think the different classes have enough differentiation in their ability that there's some potential for cool combos and stuff like that you can do. Aiming mechanics and stuff like that I think is a little rough. The settings seem very limited, and I'm used to PC, granted, where I can customize the heck out of my controls and stuff like that. I'm not seeing a whole lot of that with this game, at least from the outset. And one thing, I swear, it feels to me like there's some kind of, on PC, it's like mouse acceleration, where if you move your mouse very quickly, it moves farther than if you move that same distance at a slower pace. It seems like there's some sort of aim acceleration on my crosshair when I'm trying to aim. I have aim assist disabled. I lowered the sensitivity, but it feels like if I jump my stick to the right, there's a certain point where it sweeps and then picks up speed. And me trying to figure that out has been very weird. It makes a lot of like over aiming. Like I'll go past my target and trying to come back. So that part is kind of weird. Aside from that, the game seems like it has some fun elements to it. I'm a little worried. People are telling me they've already beat it and there ain't much left to it after that. So I'm hoping they can add more content to this game. But at the end of the day, if they don't, I got it on Game Pass, so I ain't hurting.
It's one of those things where, because it technically is not a games as a service, so it's going to be.
It's not.
It's going to be
but
reliant.
It sure does look like one. Like it has the form of one.
It looks like a games as a service, right?
Yeah. I'm right next to Kevin when he says like, I wasn't going to pick it up, and I probably wouldn't play it if it wasn't on Game Pass. But I did play the demo and I had fun with it. It's just after finding out it wasn't a live service game, which it's not like I'm out here like standing for live service games or nothing, but I just, with what I played, I don't understand how it would survive long term without being live service.
$40 DLCs. Big ass DLCs.
No. That's one way to drive your people away. The game is $80 here in Canada. There's no way I'm going to get it. And it's not on PC Game Pass. I'm like, you already killed it to not have a lot of people in Canada getting it. Like, I would rather play Destiny because the DLC in Destiny, yes, it's $80, but I know it's going to be supported for the next at least 5-6 years, and I will get new content every 6 months, every year. There'll be a big, massive DLC that I'm already too behind on, so I have tons of content all the time
And
to
all
be
the homies will
playing.
go back to it at some point.
Listen, I
If that
think
happens.
the biggest outcome I can come out with my time with Outriders is that I'm having fun.
That's all that matters.
Sometimes the whole story thing is convoluted. I had an audio issue, and Baron can attest to this, where if I'm not reading the captions, I don't know what's happening because for some reason I can't hear the people talking my game anymore. I don't know if anyone else on the Series X is experiencing this issue. But the game is fun. Like me and Baron just been pouring mad hours into this game. Like I love the leveling system. We figured out the world tier system. We figured something out today because if you're trying to continually match the game with the world tier system, you're gonna have a bad time. I seen people posting videos like, "This is why I hate this game. Look at this!" Like, and it was mad mortars, mad snipers everywhere, and they couldn't even move because they had the world tier too high. Like, you need to go and max your level out first, and then work on the world tier. Because I'm telling you, once you get past like 8, really 7, like it's difficult because them snipers be sniping. Like, but the game is legit fun. I've only played with the Pyromancer. That's the one I'm going to like fully max out as high as I can go with the best possible gear before I switch over. But I do love the fact that, you know, me, Baron, and Kevin were playing, and even though we were power leveling Kevin up, like his abilities at low level came in handy because we had points where me and Baron, there was 3 of us in there off the rip, and we were on World Tier 7, so we were just getting hammered. But Snips will be able to go over there and slow him down and pop back out, and that will help us out. So, like, the abilities played off of each other.
To be useful.
Yes.
Even, like, I couldn't do damage for crap, but I have, as a trickster, I have one ability that lets me teleport behind an enemy that's within range. So I teleport behind one into a group and pop this other ability that it basically creates a sphere, and everything within that sphere gets slowed down super heavy, which was really cool, by the way. You see people shooting into the sphere, like the bullets slow down and go all matrixy inside of it, which was a cool little effect. But basically that was it. I'd teleport in, do that to help them with a massive wave, and then I'd run the hell out of there before I got destroyed.
It's funny. The Anthem, the Interceptor, the ones with the blades, that's one of the abilities you can use too.
Pick Confusion, what's up? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Annie? The only thing that's kind of pissing me off about, like, if you're having fun with Outriders, have fun. Don't compare it to Avengers. Avengers is a completely different game, and if you don't like Marvel, you're not going to play Avengers. They're 2 different games.
You can't compare the two. And as someone who has put days, you look at my time played on Avengers, it's days into Avengers. I love Avengers, but Outriders has taken me away from it. That's how much fun I'm having with the game. I stopped playing Yakuza 7 for Outriders, and I love Yakuza 7. Game of the year 2020. Like, wow. Such an amazing game.
You're stuck in the management modes.
Yeah, I love you. Like, this is my first full-fledged, like, playing all the way through Yakuza game. And I'm happy, and I'm cool with that. People say, "Oh, go back and play the first one, Zero and Quan." I'm like, no, bro, this has nothing to do with those games. It's a total separate game, and that really what got me jumped into it. And the RPG elements and the funniness of Yakuza 7, I can't recommend it enough. It's like 30 bucks at Best Buy with the Steelbook. Don't play yourself. Go play Yakuza 7. But Outriders is fun. It's not going to be for everyone. I think the Metascore came out today, and it's like a high 70s, low 80s, which is about where I expected it to land. But definitely a fun game. If you have Game Pass, Game Pass on Xbox, what do you have to lose? Give it a shot. You might find yourself liking it. It's not one of those games where I'm going to say it's fun with friends, because it's fun solo, but the experience is so much better when you run it with somebody, in my opinion. Boss fights are so much funner. That's just me. Listen, one more thing before we get up out of here. If you guys do us a big favor and hit that like button, subscribe would really help us a lot too. At the end of the show, as you guys know, we like to go around the room and give a game, movie, anime suggestion. One of the 3, all 3, whatever the panel may have, something that we think you guys should check out, something that we've been into lately, something in the past that we think is awesome. We want you guys to experience that as well. So I want to start with Dallas. Dallas, what are you suggesting these fine people play and or watch this week?
Let me see. If y'all still got y'all Switch and you haven't played this game, go play Astral Chain. Or anything about Platinum Games really, but Astral Chain especially, and Nier Automata. It's on Game Pass.
Does Astral Chain, does it play well in handheld, or have you been playing it on the TV?
I've been playing both. It's all right handheld. Like it took me a little getting used to.
Okay.
But I think most games take me a little getting used to handheld. So
fair.
Yeah. But if you still got your Switch and it's not too dusty, definitely play that game. Second, every now and then I suggest comics, and since Invincible is a dope show and like it's just as good as the comics, it's like right next to the comics, the book is usually better. Go read Preacher, because that comic is way better than the show. I mean, watch the show too if you want to, but the book is fire. It's by Garth Ennis, if I'm not mistaken, and it is about a preacher who kind of like lost his faith in God for the most part, and then he gets the power of God. He literally has the power of God. For the most part, everything he says has to happen, and he goes and he is on a mission to find God with the power of God. It's actually super fire, but it's also kind of messed up, which always makes for an interesting story. So both of those things, both this book and Astral Chain as a game, is kind of fire. So check those out.
Okay. My beautiful sister, Flo Hugger, what you got this week, love?
For TV shows, I'm gonna say watch The Witcher, because they just finished wrapping season 2. So who knows when that's coming? Iconic song. For movies, I'm gonna say Alita Battle Angel, because that's just fire as well. I only got one game, and I'm gonna say it's a double A, it's a double A. But go play the original Homefront, not Homefront 2, but Homefront.
The original Homefront was a good game.
It doesn't hold up as well, but it's still like a good shooter, bang, bang, kind of like fun time. That's all I got.
Citizen Snips, what are you suggesting for the folks to play this week?
Let's see. Start for movie. This one's been out for a while. I finally watched it this past weekend. Knives Out, good movie. I enjoyed that one. Daniel Craig was a fun character there, so that was a good time. And of course, if you've seen the recent news, Netflix has secured the rights for a second and third follow-up to that movie with Daniel Craig and the same director. And for anime, I got one. I'm going to type the title for you guys in the chat right now. Kimono Jihen is the name of this anime. I watched it on Funimation. Short little 12-epper, nothing too crazy. Young kid learns that he's a half demon and goes and joins this like detective agency kind of thing. Nothing groundbreaking, but it's well written, nicely drawn, enjoyable little ride. And there is a setup for a season 2, which I assume will be another 12 episodes. But nice little ride there for you. And then as far as a game goes, we talked about it earlier, and especially if you have Game Pass, go play Outriders. I will say the only thing I had to complain about with Outriders was, and it's hardly a complaint, I didn't realize that it was Game Pass for console only. I tried to find it on my PC at first because that's my preferred way to play. Scrolled through and I was like, where the heck is it? I don't see it. This is dumb. And then I had to do Google searching and actually learn something for once. And that's when I learned that it's not available on PC Game Pass. But it's still playable and it works great. I'm playing it on my One X and I have no problem whatsoever. So yeah, those are my 3 for y'all right there.
Fire. Listen, I'm gonna be really quick. Of course, like Snip said, Outriders, Yakuza 7. I said that, and then My Hero Academia is back. So make sure you guys are catching up. I don't know if anyone noticed. Like I had someone had to tell me My Hero was back. So season 5 is back. I think the first 2 episodes have dropped, if I'm not mistaken. So make sure you guys check that out. Listen, like I was saying earlier, Monday, 15 Minutes of Fame. Tuesday, Cogs in the Machine. Today, Double XP. Tomorrow, Take 2 podcast. Friday, Peep Game. Saturday, Ready Press Play. Sunday, we rest. It's the Lord's Day. Go have some fun. Go check out the Iron Lords podcast. Listen, it's been real. And because with all of that said, congratulations. You guys are leveled up to 150. This was the Double XP podcast. You guys are freaking awesome. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, and we see you guys later. Peace. Peace.
사랑해.
Hiya.